What's good, y'all? Welcome to the Ms.Champagne Evolution Podcast, where real voices meet real conversations, extraordinary guests, blazing hot topics, music, culture, community, and the stories everybody's talking about. No filters, no BS, just real talk and evolution energy. I'm Ms. Champagne. Now, pull up and let's get this started. What's up, y'all? This your girl, Champagne. Welcome to Ms. Champagne Evolution Podcast. Hosted by your girl, Champagne. I'm going to get right into this new joint. My boy, Fat Cat, him and his brother, the Vega Brothers, put together this tribute with the Flavor Unit for our late brother, Mark the 45 King. We're going to get into it while we wait for our special guest, Zulu Jeff, and Big Jeff, we call him now. You know what I mean? So I'm just going to get into it. Join up, come and comment, be a part of this. This is hip hop, y'all. Check it out. Go.
For my man, 1,000 grand. Mark James, for you lames. I reminisce about him a lot,
Yo, Mark, remember we was in Japan and everybody knew all the lyrics to all the Flavor Unit records, but they didn't speak no English? Man.
It's been a while since I walked through your turnstile. We sit and reminisce about this and they burn fouls. Smile at the only fan. How these chicks are silly fans, spinning grands. Yeah, we laugh and listening to silly Dan. Was on a flight just the other night, thinking about you the whole time. I'm conversating with your brother Mike. See, life without King, it's hard to fathom. I miss the sinister sense of human sarcasm. For real, my man's ill, brought honor to Madonna and killed the Lisa Stansfield. Made hits to cause a head buzz, like when you took it to Take 6 to spread love. I miss you on them 45 spinning treats, like Hey Jeff was the first one stemming beats. So unique, you form your own group, and let me lay my vocals in the phone booth.
Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must slay. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must slay. No ride was more live than 45 ways.
Listen, it's a royalty thing. Man said he was a king. I never tried to doubt him. Didn't ride without him. He was the plug. Had all the motion you could need. The beats were snug. Tracks was tight, true indeed. The 4-5 King did things to bring life to the game. Y'all gonna remember his name. One of the nicest people the world has ever seen. I never saw him mad. The tracks was mean. I mean, the man made mad music out of habit. Daily occupation didn't rest on the Sabbath. Simply had to have it. Any new funky type of gadget, 4-5 King had to grab it. Damn it, you left just a little too soon, Black. But on every drum track, know I got your back. I said you left just a little too soon, Black. But on every damn track, I got your back.
Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must slay. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must slay. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Mark the 45, fully loaded clip king. Heat maker, kept the beat shifting. Giving them the Eminem rock, Eminem energy. Bless the queen and public enemy. Gangstar, comment, MC like catchy. Chill Rob like him, Apache plays snatchies. Flavor unit, your music fed the family. Hard knock like Hove and anyone a Grammy. Craig Mack, boom back, word to mama. To know you was an honor, you even laced Madonna. Kept the planet pumping, flows and funky functions. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in production. Mark the 45, kids nil wheels of steel. It's a real ill, not that run-of-the-mill deal. He let the jazz get and buy songs be bygones. He let the jazz get and buy songs be bygones. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must slay. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must slay. No ride was more live than 45 ways.
It was a king and queen creation in your basement from the get. Bunch of hip-hop heads learning to spit while you loot the vinyl. Hoping me redefine or wanna be assigned to it. Cause all of us wrote a rhyme to it. Flavor Unit Collective. Made Jersey rappers competitive. The 45 King specials, the sex, the sedative. Is there a comparison negative? You got 900 numbers, your music forever lives. Cause DJ Mark had us building the arc of art. Flooding them with hits, dart after dart. Ramsey, my heart from the start. When I think back, missing a heart, the heart's gotta be the hardest part. Who was it that chose?
The 45 King. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in production.
The 45 King.
The 45 King.
The 45 King.
Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in production.
The 45 King.
The 45 King.
45 King was a personal friend of mine. He's like a brother to me. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves.
That's right, y'all. You heard it. You heard it. You heard it right here. You heard it right here. I was going to play it again. I'm going to play it again before we go off. I'm trying to get our boy Big Jeff set up with the link and everything. In the meantime, we're just going to be kicking it. You know what I'm saying? Let me bring myself back. It's your girl Champagne back on. And, you know, it's just another day in the neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? We just out here trying to do our own thing, stay independent, and do what we have to do. So basically, I'll be training people how to come on and get on and, you know, do the thing. Because a lot of people, you know, the internet is very peculiar to some people. And we have to help people to navigate things, you know. So I'm going to play something else in the meantime. And we get back to it. Come on and shout us out. Come into the comments. Your comments. If you want to get on, you need the link. They want to get on and join us on the show. Let me know in the comments. You got a question or you want to get on live with us. Just hit me up in the comments or just let me know you want the link so you can get on. Okay? Let's go. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He got it. Ho. We did, y'all. Come on. Oh, yeah. What's up, y'all? This your girl. They said Big Jeff has entered. Let me see if I can add him to the stage. I don't see you, Big Jeff. We trying to add you. Yo, He's trying to get to the stage, y'all. In the meantime, we're just gonna talk about what's going on in the world today of hip hop. As you know, tomorrow is the 53rd birthday of hip hop. Some of you know about it, some of you learn about it, and some of you you argue about it and you debate about it. Okay, we got Big Jeff. We about to bring him to the stage, y'all. Hold on, hold on. Come on, y'all. Clap your hands for Big Jeff. He made it, y'all. We got him technically inclined. Well, Lord have mercy. But that's okay, Big Jeff. You are the connector of hip hop. What's going on?
Hey, Champagne, how are you? Thank you for having me on your show.
Hey, we've been doing this for years. We done did a show together, book together. We done did a lot of hip hop together, the culture. So
Absolutely.
I'm glad you was able to navigate through it because your fans was probably waiting for you. Like, where's Jeff? I want to see Jeff. Where's Jeff Champagne? You know they're gonna get on me if you didn't get on here, right? Especially with the flyer. So Jeff, for those
Yeah,
who don't
yeah.
know who Jeff is, Big Jeff, Zulu Jeff, we call you Big Jeff, but how did you get the name Zulu Jeff? Tell us all about how Big Jeff, Zulu Jeff came along in hip hop.
Well, I got down with Zulu Nation back in '94,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm a friendly person, so I just basically started networking with people, just getting to know people, and I started finding out about events, and then me, I've never been a person that likes to keep information to myself, so I would see people. Artists, DJs, graffiti writers, whatever, B boys, B girls, and I would see them at events, and I'd be like, "Oh, it's great seeing you. Do you know about this event coming up next weekend? Or Thursday, or whatever the day was?" And some of them would know, but a lot of them wouldn't know. And so I'd be like, "Okay, well, do you know about this other event coming up as well?" I'd give like two or three at a time, and depending on their interest, if they seem real interested, then I'd be like, "Oh, let me get your information. Let me get your." At the time, it's the '90s, so people really didn't have cell phones, so it'd either be a house phone or an email or a beeper number. And so I started keeping in contact with people. And like I said, I'm personable, I'm friendly. So everybody started to see me. Plus, I'm 6'6". I stand out in the crowd. So,
Six
you
foot
know,
six.
yeah.
Woo!
So,
Uh-huh.
so the reason why I started calling myself Big Jeff is two reasons. Obviously, I'm 6'6", and I'm over 250 pounds. Let's just leave it at that. And you know, there was another Jeff that was around in the industry, and he kind of had not done the right thing by people. So when I would start to call people, I'd be like, "Hey, such and such, how are you?" And they'd be like, "Oh, who is this?" I'm like, "It's Jeff." And they're like, "Which Jeff?" Like I hear the angst in their voice. So I, being a quick thinker, I was like, I never called myself Big Jeff. I'd be like, "Oh, it's Big Jeff." So the moniker started to fit. And then
Okay.
I also was, like I said, a part of Zulu Nation. So I started calling myself Zulu Jeff, So it was both. Some people know me as Big Jeff, some people know me as Zulu Jeff, some people know me as both.
I call you both depending on the mood. Big Jeff, Zulu Jeff, Big Jeff. You know, it's just different parts of your career in the culture. So, what are some of the connector words that connected? Give us a definition of connection, because I connected with you through Lord Yoda X, correct? At the
So I
great late,
rest in peace. Yeah.
the late DJ
Yeah.
Lord Yoda X, and that's
Yeah.
how we met, right? Is that correct?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
around 2000, I was one of the people that was putting together the Zulu Nation anniversary, and you had already known Lord Yoda X, and basically he gave you my number, and then you called me, and you were like, "Oh, I'm repping K Solo and a few other people,
Uh huh.
this is for the anniversary that we were doing every year in November." And
Uh huh.
so you and I started talking, on the regular and everything, and we got K Solo to be involved with the anniversary. And, basically, like I said, you good people, you got a kind heart. I got a kind heart. And we just connected
But I'm just no
on that
nonsense.
end.
I'm just no nonsense. You know how it is. They get I'm misunderstood because I'm no nonsense. But a lot of people like that, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You
And that
straightforward,
don't
but, you got a good
yeah.
heart,
Yeah,
so.
and that's a great way to put it. And you more like reserved, but don't mess with the Big Jeff, y'all. Woo wee.
Well, I got a temper, but I'm like Bill Bixby. I can't really show it because, when I lose my
Bill
temper,
Bixby.
like,
Oh,
sometimes people get hurt, and I'm not about getting hurting people. I don't want to be sued. I don't want to have to be
right.
finding out that
Prison.
somebody is seriously
Mm,
injured. So I do my best 99.8% of the time not to get really angry and upset.
that's what's up. So
Yeah.
so I want to go straight to it. How exactly you got involved with hip hop? Cause where you from?
Born in the Bronx, but I was raised in Queens, starting at the age of 3. And my love of hip hop, started like in the late '70s, hearing listening to WKTU and BLS, and hearing like Sugar Hill Gang, Rappers Delight, hearing Curtis Blow, what you call it, Christmas, was
Yeah,
it
the
Christmas
Curtis Blow.
rapping? That was
Uh-huh.
late '79, and then early
Uh-huh.
'80. The breaks really took off for me, and I remember
That's
going
the
to the
breaks.
Wiz. I went to the Wiz. My mom, I was not even 10 years old. I was about to be 10, and I convinced my mom to take me to the Wiz to buy Curtis Blow's yellow LP. So I didn't know it as rap or hip hop. I just knew it as something that I really enjoyed. For
Mm,
those that know me well, know that people like Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder and Luther Vandross, Shaka Khan and Sade and Earth, Wind and Fire and the OJs. That's my love, amongst a lot of other artists and everything like that. But hip hop is always, in the fabric, and it's neck and neck. But like I'm partial to R&B and soul classics, but I do love my hip hop.
Oh, you definitely love your hip hop, but you
Mhm.
have a wide range of love for a lot of things, and you're a very passionate person of what you love. Now, I want
Yes.
to take you back to something you just mentioned, Sugar Hill Gang. You say you started listening to Sugar Hill Gang. Now, let's be honest. A lot of people say that's not one of the biggest records of hip hop, and you and I know better than that. It came out of Inglewood, New Jersey, Sylvia Rome, Sugar Hill Records, and her husband. But it's a lot of rhetoric in hip hop. I'm not going to tell you where, Bronx. I'm not going to tell you where, but they keep saying that's not the first hip hop song. No one's saying it's the first hip hop song. It's the first national hip hop song. What you got to say on that one? Share your thoughts.
I mean, you were there, behind the scenes, and also, DJing and being around a
Mhm,
lot of cats from Jersey and New York in, that era, 78, 79, 80. I was just a young child, of 8, 9 years old. And I agree with you 100%. To this day, in my opinion, I'm not saying this is a fact, but in my opinion, 50, no, I'm confused, like 79, 47 years later, I don't think there's ever been a record that's made the impact, of Rapper's Delight. Whether I'm talking about soul, on the, like I said, KTU and BLS, as well as being on Z100 and
mhm.
PLJ, and just the impact of that song. I don't think there's a record. I mean, I could be wrong. There's other records that had great impact, like Rob Bass, rest in peace. It Takes Two, and
Yes.
Melly Mel, the Furious Five, The Message, Run DMC, Walk
Yeah,
This
they said
Way,
that's 80
you
something.
know,
Run
you
DMC was
know,
like early 80s though.
yeah, yeah,
Like,
83, but
yeah, because it changed a
Walk This Way had
little
a
bit.
big impact,
Yeah,
musically,
I mean the whole group alone. That's how I met DJ Hurricane. We used to work together at a 41 East 42nd and a magazine company. It was two magazine company. I was on the computers. He was doing his job, and we was introduced by a gentleman named and I still friends. Kane and I still friends, but Kane was like he looked like DMC. You know what I'm saying? So
yes, he does.
I met them through Kane. You know what I mean? Kane is, our peoples. And so that was like in the early 80s, like 83 for me. You know what I mean? I went to school with O in New York around 82. You know what I mean? So when he finished, he graduated first. So he asked me, did I need a job? And I was like, heck yeah. And that's why I met a lot of people. We was on 42nd, the other side. The other side of 42nd Street was hookers and pimps and gambling. And what's the song? Melly Mel said, pickers, pick up gamblers and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
saw it live. I
I
saw it
believe
in
that. I
real
believe
action
that.
on 42nd Street when the old 42nd Street now look like Disney World.
Oh
The
yes, very
Kane
different.
and I used to walk to the game room and play the game. He used to teach me how to play millipede. That's how I know how to play millipede today, because of Kane. And I was his hype woman. He used to rhyme all the time, and I used to say his rhyme. My name's Hurricane from Queens, New York. All of the homeboys call me Kane for short. We used to walk down to get our lunch. We had an hour, but we all was friends back then. Nobody was beefing. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
moving forward, when I hear people from the Bronx talk about Sugar Hill's not hip hop, listen, okay, let's call them rap then. But I could tell you one thing, they did put it on. Okay, we gotta hold on, we gotta add Jeff back on. Hold on for you. Okay, I'm gonna add you back. Oh, he got internet issues this morning. Move around. There you go. He back. Okay. All right, you back. Yeah, you got internet. So basically, I just don't like the great, I'm from Jersey first and New York second. That's my life. So when I hear my people from New York who still hang with the guys from Jersey, even though three of them passed, it behooves me to see the disrespect for Jersey when Jersey is what? Jersey is hip hop. You got the
Oh, big time.
greatest MC. Yeah, And I said, why people always try and disrespect Jersey? That's not acceptable. We don't disrespect, the Bronx or New York. You know what I'm saying? And I've been on the radio 105.9, with Red Bandit and Champagne. You had the Awesome Two. You had Kevin Keefe and the Dirty Dozen, Hank Love radio show with Kevin Keefe. You had Mecca. You know what I mean? We played a lot of people strong from everywhere. And Jersey, Patterson came out later. They were showing up. But Brooklyn, when they said Champagne, I'm going to make it to the show, it was 3 o'clock in the morning. They was outside waiting for me in lines. Brooklyn always showed up. That's why Brooklyn's still one of the biggest ones. Shout out to my girl, Paula Perry, Brooklyn, Fort Greene, Queen. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Whatchamacallit? I had a conversation with a few people, but two come to mind. One is LA Sunshine, and the other one is JDL. You were interviewing them for other stuff that you were doing, and rest in peace, JDL from the Cold
Rest
Crush,
in
and
peace, my brother,
LA is
our
still
brother.
alive from the Treacherous. Yeah, two great guys. Love both of them.
And you introduced me to LA. Remember, you took me to his residence. So that's
Yes.
how I met LA. Even though I was grooving off his songs, hip hop, but you introduced me to LA. Sunshine.
Yes, ma'am. And so both of them gave a very detailed history of their interactions, like I would say around 1980, maybe even a little earlier, 77, 78, with Sweet Slick and Sly and a couple of other artists from Jersey that don't get their flowers in terms of being, part of the first generation of hip hop,
Yeah.
and then after that, like you said, the Awesome Two, around like maybe 81, 82 on the air. And then you have, so many like Redman and Queen Latifah and Mark the 45 King,
Now, see, that
Chill
came
Rob
later.
G,
But
Chill
that
Rob
came
D.
later.
Yeah,
That came
yeah,
later because we had
yeah,
Chiba Crew, the Demon Crew, Killer Force Crew, Brooklyn D, Master C, rest his soul, and the three key members of Sweet Slick and Sly from Chilltown passed away. The founder members, Lord Albial. He got a son right now that's out called Albial. And then, you have Prince Warm Daddy Shabazz, my man, I miss you so much, Shabazz. And then you had King Jimmy Mack from Hackensack, but he was, mostly in Chilltown, JC. So those was the founders, even though it was other people like Flo, DJ Flo, Nicky Barnes, Peter Barnes. There's so many. Cool Ray, which is out Sugar Ray. Remember I was telling you did something with
yes,
Sugar Ray?
yes,
He's
yes.
from Chilltown, Jersey City. He's a product of Sweet Sick and Sly and NBC, Nicky Barnes and them, because Chilltown, I'm trying to think, Sugar Hill and Sugar, what's his name? Sugar Ray? He switched his name on us. What do you call him?
You talking
Spotlight
about
now?
From the Double X
Yeah,
Posse or
he
another
switched his
Sugar Ray?
name.
Oh,
No,
okay.
Sugar Ray is from Double X, but he switched the name. I think it's to Spotlight Ray or something, or the Ray Roth or something.
Oh,
He
okay.
switched his name, but I know Matt Sugar Ray back then, so that's why I'm
Gotcha.
like, man, what's name we calling him now? But you had Sweet Slick and Sly first.
Yes.
They was the foundation because that's how I met Biz Markie. That's you had Cool Sir Brown from the Killer Force crew. Biz Markie hung out with Cool Sir Brown. We call him Sir Brown now. Got what's up, bro? And then his sister is Mary Brown. She wrote the songs for Destiny Child, and she wrote co-wrote songs for Jaheim. Put That Woman First, and many other joints. So
Gotcha.
this was in the early stage 80s. They was already doing harmonizing, just like the Bronx, because Bronx used to hang out with Chilltown before Newark. And I was born in Newark, but it was before Newark. You had Hakeem and what's it, Hassan and 7-Eleven. Seven's still over there doing his thing.
Gotcha.
Illustrated Sport.
Gotcha.
That's 7-Eleven. He was young, but you had Hassan. He could tell you that story better. So you had hip hop way before Flavor Unit came in. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
absolutely.
But they
Absolutely.
don't know that, so that's why stuff like this is important to go tell the story. I tell people, don't expect people to know what you did unless you go talk about it. You know what I mean? You
Yes,
document it. Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely.
So
I mean, there's unsung heroes from Jersey, and there's unsung heroes even to this day that never get acknowledged in the Bronx, like
that's
Disco
right.
King Mario, John
Yes, that one.
Brown, DJ D. There's a
Keep
whole
going.
list.
Get them
Love Bug
their credit
Starsky,
now.
DJ Jones, DJ Hollywood,
Mhm.
they consider them disco DJs, but some of those guys were playing break beats from what's been told to me. I was
Yeah.
2, 3 years old at the time, so I was not there. So please
And
don't
they
get it
have nothing to
twisted
lie about. They
that
have
that, that
nothing to
I'm
lie
saying
about.
yeah, that
Yeah.
I'm saying that I was there because I wasn't. I got DJ Smokey, that battle Cool Herc, back in the day and everything like that. And so, the narrative has always been, Cool Herc, the Amin Ra, Grandmaster Flash, DJ Breakout, DJ Baron, Grand Wizard Theodore, and a couple of other people. But, I feel
DST,
like that there's a
DST.
lot, yeah, DXT, yeah, there's a lot of others that are unsung heroes that never get acknowledged. And like I said, I wasn't there, but I've been told by several reliable sources that there was more
Yeah.
people that are there besides the people. And then, we got to talk about Brooklyn with Flowers and Maboya. You have to talk about Queens with DJ Divine and the Disco Twins. And, like I
Yes.
said, a
Yeah.
lot of them play disco. I understand that, but some of them were playing break beats. And then a lot of people don't even know Jappy Jap has an
Happy
album,
Jack. Mm-hmm.
has a tape from Queensbridge in 72, 73. Nobody
Happy
even
Jack.
talks about Chappy Chap, DJing out there. When you think of Queensbridge, you always think of Marley Marl and, Roxanne Shante
Jam.
and,
Shan and
and,
all of
and,
them.
and Tragedy and Shan and all those people. But Chappy Jap was out there in 72, 73.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a humble dude that doesn't, mention about his findings. But that was what was told to me, that there's a tape in Queensbridge of Chappy Chap in either 72 or 73 DJing and doing breaks and stuff like that. Not just DJing
Yeah.
disco.
But when I hear his name, it's a song that pops in my head. A Chappy Chap. You ever heard that? It was a break of a Chappy Chap, and it was on the screen. I'll never forget that. I can hear it in
Yeah.
my head like I'm listening to Mr. Magic right now.
Yes.
Shout out to Mr. Magic, rest in peace. And when you mention Amarada, Bam, we got to give him a shout out. May he rest in peace. We lost some soldiers, Rob Bass. People are falling, and we got to
Yes.
give them shout out and pay
Yes.
homage to them. I don't
Absolutely.
care what
Absolutely.
anybody say on the side. That's your business because no one never been convicted. Don't disrespect hip hop. Don't disrespect hip hop.
Honestly, you know, I don't know what happened. I'm not trying to, try to discredit or discount it. We all got to answer to God for our actions, good, the bad, and the stuff that we could have done that we don't do. So
Right.
if he's guilty of that, I'm not in a position to judge him. And like I said, again, I'm not condoning what he did or didn't do. He has to answer to God for his action. I believe in a higher power. But honestly, without me being a part of Zulu Nation, I wouldn't have met you, Champagne, and 75% of the people I know. It was through Zulu Nation that I started going to events in the Bronx and in Manhattan that I wasn't even aware of that was happening. And, I started meeting everybody. I would have met some people, from 94 till now, 32 years later. But honestly, like I've met 5,000 people in hip hop. I wouldn't have met 4,000 of those people without going to Zulu Nation events and going to Rocksteady Crew events and other events that people were doing. And so I can't ever just discount that. Don't, like I said, I'm not advocating for
Anything
pedophilia,
that
pedophilia or child abuse or
it was
rape
never
or any of that stuff.
never been convicted of it. But you got a president who were. So we can't say nothing because, like you said, we wasn't there. He never been convicted of it. So we have to show. Our topic with him is hip hop. So all the
Yeah,
disrespectful people out there, Lord Jamal, uh, uh, Crazy Legs, all of y'all getting on the internet when he died and said that. Y'all disrespectful because at the end of the day, your mama should have taught you never speak ill about a person who just passed away. Y'all didn't even let him get in the grave and y'all was disrespecting him. But you know, when hip hop was being created and moving around with Zulu Nation, he allowed y'all to come to all the Zulu Nation event. It was the most beautiful thing in the world. I sound like who? Who I sound like right now? I'm the most beautiful thing, Keith.
Keith Murray, that's my dude. That's my dude.
I
So
know.
I just want to say one other thing.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I used to go on Wednesday nights, once or twice a month, to the Bronx River meetings. And Bam and Ahmed Henderson, who's one of the founders, had an
Mhm.
apartment, right up the block, not on the blocks, like literally, 200 feet from the Bronx River Community Center where we were having our meetings. And, I went up there to the apartment after having a meeting, probably a dozen times. And I never saw anything. And like I said, nothing happened to me. I could take a lie detector test. I swear on a stack of Bibles, but I'm an honest, upfront person. If I saw something, I would have come out and said like, "Oh, this is not right," and then I would have left Zulu Nation. I wouldn't have stayed for the 32 years that I've been involved and everything like that. But like I said, I'm not discounting anybody stories or anything that might have tragically happened to people or dozens of people or hundreds of people that are saying that this did happen. I was there and I never witnessed it, so I can't say that he did it or he didn't do it. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Well, technically they wasn't there either, so they shouldn't be saying that. I don't want to spend too much time on it, but
Right,
my
right.
point is, it's hip hop, and that's what everyone should be talking about when a person who done so much to hip hop. That's what you should be talking about. Let a person get buried first before you talk your slick because you got the internet. And that's the problem with a lot of that's why, in my opinion, now I say hip hop is dead. Not just because of that, but in regards to nonsense and BS and phony people, the promoters, all the nonsense. Because when we was in hip hop, he's a little younger, but when we was in hip hop, it was more fun and we couldn't wait for the next event. Yeah, most of us had jobs. We leave our jobs to go to, Zulu Nation Anniversary. It was the best time of my life when it comes to hip hop. And then to see that it's been hijacked today and everyone's so angry, they curse you out. Everybody want credit with no receipts. You don't get credit for no receipts. Oh, I created this, I did this. Listen, where's your receipts? You don't
No,
have to
you're
argue with
absolutely
people.
no, you're
Mhm.
absolutely right. Champagne, and I don't want to sound like I'm trying to take credit for anything, but
Right, right.
I call myself the connector because honestly, out of from like the mid '90s till 2015, for 20 years, I was definitely one of the main people. To me, I would say the primary, but I would just say one of the main people that was bringing artists such as KRS-One and Rakim and DMC and Public Enemy and a whole bunch of different artists to perform at the anniversary year after year after year. So that's why I call
Mhm.
myself the hip hop connector because I have relationships with 90, 95%
Everybody.
of
Listen, I
of you
witnessed it.
know
You're a celebrity. I mean,
Mhm.
I was like I was with the president of the United States, Obama, that type of celebrity stuff. Because you have a kind heart, you connect people together, and that's the greatest name for you. Even though Greg Nice will say he used the antenna because the car, the cars back in the days couldn't move without the antenna, the radio wouldn't play. I said I like the connector better because man, you connect everybody. You don't hide information. If I said, Jeff, I need this, boom. You know what I mean? And you tell
Yep,
me yes
yep.
or no. And,
A
and
few
that's what's
people
wrong with a lot of us, gatekeeping. Hmm.
A few people call me the hip hop ambassador.
You
The
are.
thing is, Champagne, is that I'm about love, and like I said, love is what brought hip hop to the forefront, and love is what connected we to people like yourself and others that are gatekeepers and people that are cornerstones of this hip hop community. And like I said, we are the last of a rebel fleet. We're talking about, now 3,000 of us that are keeping hip hop alive in terms of being at events, throwing parties, supporting the culture, whether it's, giving donations, whether it's, helping fund events or throwing events or attending stuff. So I don't know what's going to happen 40 years from now. But I feel like this generation, which is you and I, we all in our early 50s to early 60s or maybe 65. It's like 50 to 65. We're the gatekeepers of this. Don't get me wrong. There's people in their 30s and 40s that are part of the culture too. But I'm saying the essential people that are really doing hip hop events and everything are 50 to 65. And so that means that, the average person lives to be 80. So if 50 to 65, let's say the average age of that is 57, 80 is only 23 years from now. So I don't know if we're going to be going to hip hop events at 80. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But like I said, this next 20, 30, 40 years, I feel like this is the last generation that's really keeping hip hop alive. Will there be people in their 30s doing this when they're in their 50s and 60s? I'm sure they will, but not to the level that's going on right now. Without exaggeration, I went to 8 events in 3 days over the weekend, but there was another 25 events that I could have went to. I missed MCA Jam Master J Day. I missed a couple of Harlem events. Like there was so much going on. I can't be in 2 places at the same time, and I don't have a car, so I'm going by Access-A-Ride, and so I couldn't be at MCA JMJ Day because I was at Jerry D's 40th anniversary yesterday, which was an amazing event. Salute to Jerry D, and salute to K Born, from the Classical 2 and a couple of other people that helped put together that event. And then Fredro Starr did his tunnel premiere, about the club tunnel, the nightclub tunnel.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
that was
yeah.
going on yesterday. So like I said, there was so much going on this weekend, and I can't be in 2 places at the same time,
Well,
So
that's a beautiful thing because that's what hip hop was about back in the day, making the next event. It was so many events, so many promoters, so many venues, and it was just beautiful. I mean, all of us I wish we had cameras on our phones back then. This internet will be like, people wouldn't even believe it, what we did. You know what I mean? Because we ripping and running to different labels, going for different shows. I remember when hip hop started on the internet. It was what's that? Hip Hop 88. This guy used to work with wanted to argue with me. I said, "Oh, you could do video across the world." He said, "No, you can't." He was yelling at me. I said, "I just left the show where they was rapping all over the world calling in." See, some people got to see it to believe it, and some people could believe it before they see it. I was there. I'm telling you, I was there, and you still don't believe it. That's why we in that condition in this world today. It was those people. I said, y'all crazy. Y'all don't believe it if we gave it to you on a silver platter. But I could tell you, I'll never forget that time. It was Lower East Side. No, we was on Houston Street. Boy, we had so much fun. We had so much fun. I used to go to ASCAP every Tuesday and learn about publishing. We used to have so much fun. When I look back and see what's going on today, I'm like, we just was having fun. We was learning, enjoying ourselves, making history. But I wish we had phones on our cameras on our phones. Man, everyone would have documented everything. And for the people who documented, like Kool Herc and all of them back in the days, they was very, very ahead of their time because they had to carry them big old cameras on their shoulder. Shout out to Ron Alexander TV show. Shout out to Bless. He's, videos. God bless his soul. It was so many underground in New York, on cable. They
yeah,
show
yeah.
all the hip hop shows. You
I
could get a.
also, so no, go
Go
ahead,
ahead.
finish your thing. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, you brought your group to all these shows, and it showed to all the cable channels in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut.
Yes,
Shout
absolutely.
out
I
to
want to.
Ralph McDaniels, the
Yeah,
original.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. I also want to salute Ernie Panacoli,
Oh
Joe
yeah,
Conzo, Jamel Shabazz,
oh
Irv
yeah,
Panton, Ronnie Wright,
yes.
Johnny Nunez, Jay Natty. I'm missing so
They
many, but
documented so
these
much,
guys documented the culture, taking pictures, and some of them were taking videos, and it's essential.
and they
I
should have awards for that. Some
Yes,
major, major awards.
absolutely,
Because
absolutely,
Ernie
absolutely.
Pinatoli, Shabazz, woo, Shabazz. This guy who took me to the high school prom, he got rest of soul, Muscle. He passed away, Wendell Muscle. I saw one of the shots, him and his homeboy, the B-boy stand with the Pumas in New York. I said, that's Muscle. Shabazz said, "Oh, I said, that's Muscle. He took me to the prom."
Yep,
And
absolutely.
that's what he did. He used to walk up and down the street taking pictures. And in the school I went to, after the other school in Jersey, is on 40th Street. It's near the Daily News. And I said, man, we had some fun. 1980, 79, 80 up in there. It was nothing but hip hop. You
Yes.
saw everybody with sheepskins, females, males. We all had our sheepskin. I could male and female gazelles, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pair. We all did. I got pictures. I just wish I didn't throw away or moved around with some. I had pictures galore. We had the leather pants, the earrings. I already had, the gold necks with champagne or rings on my finger. I got one picture I can show you. The rest of them, I used to give it to barbershops and tell them to hold it up. I had pictures with everybody. But I wish we had video. Now the internet is here,
Yeah, yeah. Also, I got to
We probably
salute.
get the respect we deserve. But go ahead.
Sorry. No, yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. Champagne. Definitely want to shout out Kenya Smith and Ming Han. I'm trying to think of everybody. My brain ain't working properly in terms of I'm drawing blanks, but all y'all know who you are. People that have documented this culture, and you are appreciated by me. What is the guy's name? I'm seeing his face and everything like that.
It'll come when you start
Oh
thinking hard.
man, yeah.
So
I
we'll
used to
come
see
back
him all
to
the
that.
time
Mhm.
at a knitting factory, but he's at every spot, and his name starts with an R. So my apologies, and hopefully it'll come to
Shout
me.
out to R.
Oh, I can't forget my man Q that I met through Mike G from the Jungle Brothers and everything
Okay.
like that. He
Shout out
definitely,
to him.
took a lot of pictures, and like I said, I'm
Oh,
missing
okay.
a bunch more,
Oh,
but
didn't I meet
you know,
him? Didn't I meet him?
yes, you did meet Q.
Yeah, Q, the brother from Brooklyn or something.
Yes,
He had the camera where
so,
we talked for a minute. When you took
yeah,
me some event, you took me.
yeah,
Invited me. You had me a lot of events. I enjoyed the time, and because you was the connector. Jeff is celebrity, y'all. He should just put celebrity in front of it. When I say he know baseball player, basketball player, and they all call him, Jeff, like they hang out, and they do. Tommy Davidson, everybody. I said, well, God, Lord, this is a celebrity promoter, but nah, he's a connector because he connects with people. His friends is your friends. He will introduce you to her friends. No, this is mine, this is yours. Because the relationship you have with your folks, it will never sever. But people be like, nah, get your own friends. What that don't even sound right. You controlling people now? You never was like that. If I wanted to meet somebody, you connect me to them. You know what I mean? And
yeah,
because
yeah.
I'm about business. I ain't about no foolishness, because I'll just leave people alone if it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, absolutely. Like I said, you a straight shooter, so I appreciate that about you. And like I said,
I gotta give a shout out.
you always
I-
try to help people, and you definitely, been a kind person to me. So I appreciate your generosity and your care.
and likewise, that's why we still friends after all these years. And we hip hop friends, but we friends. You know what I mean? Because some people you can't call everybody your friends. You know
No,
that
definitely not.
they throw that, and you can't call everybody legends. We legends of the game. We don't have to say, but sometimes you gotta remind people. Because they just walking over you like you wasn't there. Hold on now. You know what I mean? We was there, we was in there like swimwear. I would give
Yeah,
some
yeah.
shout outs to some Chilltown DJs. You was mentioning some DJ. Wimpy B passed away. He was one of the biggest DJs in
Rest
Chilltown.
in peace.
JC hung out with Kumo D. All of them, Dougie Fresh. All of them friends with them. That's what I was gonna say earlier. Dougie Fresh hang with them since '79. He cool with Chuck Luck. Chuck is from uptown where Loyal X, what's that, Lincoln Project or something like that.
Yes,
But
Lincoln Projects.
when he came to Chilltown, he became one of the members of Sweet Slick and Sly. So Chuck Luck, shout out to Chuck Luck. Shout out to I'm gonna give some more DJs. Nicky Barnes was one of the biggest DJs out there. It was many DJs. I like to call this one my nephew, the General, Eric Pickney, the General. I call him my nephew. That's little Albie Al nephew. But Albie used to take him around, and it was just a beautiful thing. So many DJs, man. Oh, Victor Quick, rest in soul, peace. I miss Victor Quick. He used to have songs. Victor Quick, and then he would come up and spin. All the DJs, back then had the style behind the back, and do all the things. I said we needed a camera on our phone. Because we dying, so it should have been documented. Because it goes away, and your family don't know what you did. They
Yeah,
so busy saying thinking you hanging out. No, we was creating creativity, art. You know.
yeah.
So
No, you're absolutely right.
I want to talk a little bit about Kool Herc. That's when the fathers of hip hop, the foundation well, it's a lot of nonsense going on about whether he did it or not. See, I'm not into all that. You know what I mean? What you think, Kool
I
Herc?
mean, you know, I actually interviewed along with my childhood friend Dave Joyce. We got on the phone maybe about 4 or 5 years ago and
Mm-hmm.
interviewed over 50 DJs and MCs from the first generation.
Mm-hmm.
And the two biggest, the questions, the main question was, who was the first person that you heard playing breakbeats and stuff like that, and combining like two records together and everything. And the two defining names, probably 70% said Cool Herc, probably about 30% said DJ Hollywood and everything
Mm-hmm.
like that, as being the first person that they heard.
Mm-hmm.
So, I have to go by, what the first generation said, that Kool Herc is considered to be, the father of hip hop. Not the first DJ to play breakbeats, but the father of
Father.
hip hop, because he combined the break aspect, which could be 10 seconds long, 30 seconds long, a minute long. Like, Aretha Franklin had a song called Rock Steady. So
Ah,
everybody associates Rock Steady with
steady.
Crazy Legs and, Jimmy D and Jimmy Lee and JoJo and Ken Swift and Mr. Wiggles and Fable and everybody else, but Champagne said, it's rock steady, so like the break
Ah,
part is the part that gets people excited. And Herc was at a party, from what was told to me, and 7 minutes of funk, boom, 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 boom,
boom,
boom, boom, boom, boom, which
boom, 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 boom,
EPMD
boom.
and a couple of other
It's
people used. He heard that and he was like, man, the break part of that like got people excited and dancing on the dance floor. And so Herc got the inspiration to buy two of the same record. And so it would be a
right,
continuous break. And he was one of the first, if not the first person to do that, do the continuous break where you're playing the get down part or the break part longer and extending it and everything like that. And so that's why he's credited with being the father of hip hop. Plus, he had the incredible sound system that was playing out at 1520 Cedric Avenue, at Cedar Park, and a couple of other places out there like the Hevalo and other spots like the Door, Black Door, and spots like that. So what you call it? That's why he's considered the father of hip hop.
mm, no doubt. So your camera keeps still on that, and no doubt on that. It's just that it's unfortunate out of the Bronx. It's a lot of chaos. Because right now the last 2 years, it's been a lot of rhetoric about whether Latinos was part of hip hop, or Black was dominating hip hop, and Latinos was Latinos part of it. So what's your okay? I'll tell you what I'm thinking, and then I'll let you elaborate. Hip hop was dominated by Black people, the foundational Black people, the FBAs. And then the Latinos, you see a sprinkle of them here and there, in different crews, but you never saw it dominated until probably the early 80s, 81, 82. What you think?
Well, like I said, I wasn't there, but for me, with anything, it's all about show and prove. So, I in my limited, dealings with, secondhand information, I have relationships with Charlie Chase. I have relationships with Whipple Whip, Ruby D, Tito, DJ Disco Wiz, who came out of Grandmaster Caz camp, you know.
And don't
Um,
forget the song, the bongos, Latino. You know what I mean? Right? Was that Jimmy? It was a Latino. Yep. Your internet freezing up. I'm gonna put you on pause for a minute until you get that straight. Okay? Yeah. See, we having an in-depth discussion, y'all. Internet's important on these networks. So he'll be back, and we almost finished. And all right, he's coming back on.
Apologies.
Okay, go ahead, keep
So,
going. Hmm.
you know, uh, I know in the b-boy, b-girl aspect, that there's a lot of, representation,
Yes,
Latino
yes,
wise.
yes.
I don't know of a huge contribution. I'm talking about like the 72 to 76 era of hip hop. I'm not saying that there's not. I don't know of
If
a
you
huge
can't think of
contribution,
it, if
you
you
know,
can't think of it, then it's not. That's the issue.
you
Because
know.
it's remember we the black foundational people of everything, you know, because we the first people with the Native American. Now, yes, Kool Herc's from Jamaica, but remember, he's not a foundation. He's from Jamaica, so he's you know, they call it Jamaican American. You know what I mean? So the Black Foundation is the first people. You know what I mean? But everything you just said, they all created what they created, and it can't be denied. Now, the Latinos were sprinkled around, and what they failed to realize, it was like in the early 80s, they started big time. Because when I saw B-boys and B-girls, I saw a lot of Latinos, big time. You know what I mean? Big time.
Right. I just wanted to say one more thing. I want to finish my thought. But yeah, I agree with everything that you're saying. Like I said, I was not there in the 70s, so I'm not the best person qualified to talk about it. But what I wanted to say is that there was people like Phase Two and Buddy Esquire and a few other promoters or graffiti artists that documented the culture with flyers. So
Okay.
if there is, and I'm not saying there's not, I'm saying if there is a lot of Latino DJs and MCs, I would love to see them on a flyer from 72 to 76, which is like, to me, like the first generation. 77, we had the blackout, which everybody's well aware of in July. And that's when a lot of people became DJs and MCs. So I'm
Right.
talking about the 72 to 76 era. Everybody talks about 73, but there was people in 72 that were doing this hip hop wise in terms of break beats and dancing, in terms of MCing. So I would love to see people produce flyers from that era showing the Latino influence. I believe that there are Latino DJs. I believe there are Latino MCs.
Like King Mario. King Mario
know.
was he Dominican? Was he Latino? King
I
King
mean, I
Mario.
mean, I used to do the Disco King Mario Day. Queen Anita started it. A lot of
Okay.
people are talking about DJ Faze and Cool Clyde, but Queen Anita is the one that actually started. That's facts. You could ask
Okay.
Mario's family. This is not me trying
Okay.
to misquote information, but from my understanding from Anita, and I know a couple of members of Mario's family, not well, but I've talked to them. Like I said, I used to do it. Queen Anita started in 94, 95, and around 97, 98, I started helping her doing the Disco King Mario Day, event in July every year, getting, Jazzy J and Theodore and, Busy B and a bunch of other people, to perform at the Disco King Mario Day in July. So my understanding is that he has maybe a smidgen of Puerto Rican blood in him, but he's really predominantly black, And like I said, if he has Puerto Rican, I have no issue with that. That's what was told to me, is that he's really more black than anything else. But it's not that I want to discredit the Puerto Rican aspect of him. But, I feel that there are Spanish DJs or Latino DJs, there's Latino MCs, but the only ones that I'm aware of, and I'm not saying that I'm right, like I said before, Disco Wiz, Charlie Chase, Whipple Whip, Ruby D, and Tito, and I'm missing one or two others I can't think off the top right now. Are the
Well,
ones that I'm
we're
aware
definitely
of. That I'm not saying that that's all there is, but that's the ones that I'm aware of, and I have a relationship with all of those guys because I've seen them,
well.
from the '90s on.
Well, let me say this. We could always circle back and get some facts and bring other people on. We could have up to 8, 10 people on this thread, and we could have a real hip hop webinar. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Now, before you leave, I want to play this song that Fat Cat, his brother, the Vega brothers, put together for a tribute to 45 King. I know I played at the top of the show, but you was getting everything together. Let me let you hear this right here. And this was coming out soon with Fat Cat. Okay, check it out.
1,000 grand. Mark James for you lames. I reminisce about him a lot,
Yo, Mark, remember we was in Japan? Everybody knew all the lyrics to all the Flavor Unit records, but they didn't speak no English? Man.
It's been a while since I won't be a turnstile. We sit and reminisce about this and they burn fouls. I smile at the only fan. How these chicks are silly stands, spinning grands. Yeah, we laugh and listening to silly Dan. Was on a flight just the other night, thinking about you the whole time. While conversating with your brother Mike. See, life without King is hard to fathom. I miss the sinister sense of human sarcasm. For real, my man's ill, brought honor to Madonna and killed the Lisa Stansfield. Made hits that cause a head buzz, like when you took it to Take 6 to spread love. I miss you on the 45 spinning treats. Like Hey Jeff was the first one stimming beats. So unique, you form your own group. And let me lay my vocals in the phone booth.
Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must play. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must play. No ride was more live than 45 ways.
Listen, it's a royalty thing. Man said he was a king. I never tried to doubt him. Didn't ride without him. He was the plug. Had all the motion you could need. The beats were snug. Tracks was tight, true indeed. The 4-5 King did things to bring life to the game. Y'all gonna remember his name. One of the nicest people the world has ever seen. I never saw him mad. The tracks was mean. I mean, the man made mad music out of habit. Daily occupation didn't rest on the Sabbath. Simply had to have it. Any new funky type of gadget, 4-5 King had to grab it. Damn it, you left just a little too soon, Black. But on every drum track, know I got your back. I said you left just a little too soon, Black. But on every damn track, I got your back.
Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must play. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must play. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Mark the 45, fully loaded clip king. Heat maker, catch the beat shifting. Giving them the Eminem rock, Eminem energy. Bless the queen and public enemy. Gangstar, comment, MC like catchy. Chill rob like him, Apache plays snatchies. Flavor unit, your music fed the family. Hard knock like Hove and anyone a Grammy. Craig Mack, boom back, word to mama. To know you was an honor, you even laced Madonna. Kept the planet pumping, flows and funky functions. Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in production. Mark the 45, kids nil wheels of steel. It's a real ill, not that run-of-the-mill deal. He let the just get and buy songs be bygones. He let the just get and buy songs be bygones. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must play. No ride was more live than 45 ways. Great to the grave, slated to be praised. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust days. Classics for classics, I must play. No ride was more live than 45 ways.
It was a king and queen creation in your basement from the get. Bunch of hip hop heads learning to sit while you loot the vinyl. Hoping me redefine or wanna be assigned to it. Cause all of us wrote a rhyme to it. Flavor unit collective. Made Jersey rappers competitive. The 45 King specials, the sax, the sedative. Is there a comparison negative? You got 900 numbers, your music forever lives. Cause DJ Mark had us building the arc of art. Flooding them with hits, dart after dart. Ramsey, my heart from the start. When I think back, missing a heart, the heart's gotta be the hardest part. Who was it that chose?
Yeah.
That's
Gave you a
that's
little
an
taste of
amazing
that.
song. That's an
Yep.
amazing song.
That's
You know?
by Fat Cat, his brother. They call it the Vega Brothers, and that's the flavor unit. Of course, you already know. Chill, Rob G, Lakim, Shabazz, Latifah, Tretch, and the flavor unit. That's a beautiful tribute to our brother 45 King. He deserved more credit. He made some big songs. You know what I mean? He did Hard Knock Life. You know what I'm saying? He did all
Yep.
the flavor unit, and sometimes that's what I meant about hip hop. Sometimes you got to be around that medium and be in the inside crowd. If you don't hang with them, they don't give you your credit. I said you got to get your own credit because
Yeah.
give yourself your own flower. Now we're about to sign off. Let's get some shout outs. I thank you for coming. Give me like 3,000 shout outs. You got 2 minutes.
First of all, I want to thank Champagne, for having me on the show. And, I just want to, salute, all the first generation. I'm not going to remember every single one, but, we start with Herc and Amin Ra. We start with Flash. We start with Hollywood. We start with Disco King Mario, Breakout Baron, Tony Tone, Charlie Chase, Theodore, Kevy Kev Rockwell, the Fantastic Five, the Furious Five, the Funky Four, the Fearless Four, Treacherous Three, the Crash Crew, Sweet Slick and Sly. I can't begin to give all the Jersey shout outs. I'll let Champagne do those. But, definitely everybody that was out there, all those names that she mentioned. Salute to all of y'all, and everybody, Busy B, Curtis Blow, all the B boys and B girls, Sasa, Trixie, the Mad Hatter, Track Two, Rocksteady crew. God bless Frosty Freeze. Rest in peace. Also,
And don't forget our
Dynamic.
girl. She just passed away. Sparky D. You know what I
Yes,
mean?
absolutely.
I met her
Sparky
through
D,
Heather Kane. You know what I mean?
Lisa Lee,
Uh
Shah
huh.
Rock, Pebbly Pooh,
Sequence.
Tila Rock,
Uh huh.
Sequence, Angie
Angie.
B, you
Mhm.
know, um, definitely LaSpank, Mercedes Lady, Sherry Share. I mean,
Lady Love. She coming up. Yeah, next week. I got DJ Lady Love coming up. Hey, let's
Lady
talk
Love,
about
salute.
hidden chapters too before we go. Hmm.
I didn't hear you. What'd you say?
Let's talk a little bit about your hidden chapters before we go. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you. And I apologize to everybody else I missed. There's a bunch more, but DXT, of course, and so many others. The Infinity Machine and all the Queens MCs, the Brooklyn MCs, and Brooklyn DJs, and everybody. Like I said, it'd be another 5 minutes giving everybody their flowers,
wait,
but
hold on. I gotta give a
you're
shout out to this
appreciated.
brother right here. His name is who's the okay, Ty Bell. Love that beat too. Oh, you love that beat, Ty Bell. He loved the beat. I gotta give a shout out to Justice Son T Zulu. He said peace champagne. What's good? He always on the pay, always showing love. Justice Son T Zulu. What's up, Son T Zulu? Peace to you. Okay, let's talk a little bit about hidden chapter. Remember, we independent. We can stay on the way we want. So go ahead, talk. You don't have to rush because we need to give you some flowers on you and your peoples on hitting chapters. Talk about it.
Yes,
Hmm.
thank you, Champagne. So Ben Bacardi and I have a interview site called Hidden Chapters of Hip Hop. You can see it on YouTube, and we do it every couple weeks. So far, we've done about 10 episodes. So the biggest one we had was Uncle Ralph, but we just did Fredro. Wow, goodness,
Hmm. Oh yeah, that's okay. It's the
sorry,
internet. I tell people you got to have your internet. Hold on, we'll bring them back, y'all. Hold on. So yeah, this is a shout out to the Vega brothers. He's coming back on. I hear
my
it.
apologies.
Boom. No, keep
So
going.
we just
Mhm.
did last Thursday Fredro Star and Psycho Les, so that'll be coming up later on this week. But those are two big ones. We also did Baby Bam from the Jungle Brothers.
Shout
Uh,
out. He gave me an interview with you. What's
yep,
up, baby Bam? Bam.
yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Chip Fu from the Fushnikins, Dinko D from Leaders of the New School, Bernadette Price, which is Sean Price' wife, and Tuffy and T Money from Yo MTV Raps. So those are the ones we've interviewed so far. And all the interviews have gone really well.
What about
Been
my
very
man Rock
informative.
from Helter Skelter? Those are two reasons I met you. Yeah, so don't forget to get Rock in there because boy,
Yeah, yeah,
monster.
absolutely. Shout
Hmm.
out to Rockness Monster. I saw him on Saturday out there at the
And Cellar
Scratch
Dweller, my
Bastard.
man Phantasm, he's supposed to be coming on. But
Those
finish
are
your
my dudes.
story.
Those are
Yeah,
my
finish your.
dudes. Yes.
We get
Them
excited because hip hop
dudes.
birthday tomorrow, so we all get excited when we talk. We don't get offended. We get excited, right? Because it's
Exactly,
just it's a
exactly.
great feeling.
Yeah,
So
and
talk.
also I want to shout out Imperial JC, rest in peace. He was a great dude, part of the
Oh,
Herculoids, along with
yeah.
Clark Kent, Timmy Tim, LeBrew, Blackjack. All the people the twins, the dancing twins that came out. From the Cool Herd camp. So whatchamacallit? So Hidden Chapters of Hip Hop is out. You go to YouTube and just put in there Hidden Chapters of Hip Hop. Like I said, we got about 10 episodes on. We're about to put this week Psycho Les from the Beatnuts and Fredro Starr, two of my friends in this hip hop industry, and we got a lot more great stuff coming along. And so I'm glad to do it with Ben. He doesn't
Shout
have
out to Ben.
you know whatchamacallit, an ego. He's happy to be a part. And we just he comes up with good questions, and it's a good mix like between him and
Listen,
I.
you just
So
want people to love the culture. If you love the culture and you're on
yeah.
cold, it's all good. It's long as they on cold and love the culture, why not? You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yep.
You
Absolutely.
got people doing their thing. This the era where you do your thing. I like to give some shout outs too. Let me see if I can remember some people. But I say
Hmm.
Paula Perry, always giving Paula Perry, one of the illest MC from Brooklyn, my sister in music. Shout out to Positive K. You know, yo man, hit me back, will you? Come on. Positive K. Shout out to Cellar Dwellers. I love my man Phantasm, always showing me love. Shout out to Lakim Shabazz, the whole flavor unit. I love y'all. 45 King, Ali Bosky, don't forget him. He's part of that. Shout out to Double J. He passed on. He's a flavor unit. And it's just so many people out there. They probably like, Champagne, why you didn't give me a shout? Cause when you go on live, it's hard. You got to have that written down. You know what I mean? And it's just shout out to everybody who love our Knicks.
Yeah, that's right. Jalen Brunson, Cat, OG, the whole
Jalen
crew.
Brunson.
Yeah,
Look at
absolutely,
Jalen Brunson. We'll be coming on and doing some sports shows. Don't trust me, we're gonna have our sports moment. But I can tell you this, in hip hop birthdays tomorrow. Today's the 10th, tomorrow's the 11th. Is happy birthday to hip hop for August 11th, right? 53rd. And
absolutely.
for all the people who love the culture and not trying to be a vulture, this is our time to give hip hop a celebration. It's 53. You know, some people not even 53, so you wasn't there. So don't lie and say you created something. You're not even 53. Come on, son. Come on, girl. Come
Yeah,
on, homie.
absolutely. I
Homie Frank.
also want to like give love to my circle. So
Okay.
Susie,
What's up, Suze?
Christine,
What's up,
Minor,
Christine?
Lynx, Tony, Carmen. Happy 25th
What's
anniversary to
up,
Carmen and
Carmen?
Steve.
Carmen and
Um,
Steve. I met your birthday girl.
Allegra, you know, Jose, a couple of others. You know, y'all know who you are. So salute to all y'all. And you know, like I said again, thank you, Champagne, for having me on. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for letting me, you know, share a little bit about my life and what I'm doing. And trust me, I'm working on a bunch of projects. So you're gonna want to have me on again in a month
All
or two
right.
from now, and I'll be
Well, we
happy
can
to
do
do
it.
it. You know, so.
Listen, everything I
mm,
need from you, I got you. We are friends. Remember, we don't use that word and that term lightly. We music
yes.
friends, but we are friends. Some people cannot count on their fingers people they can rely on because a lot of people didn't see our background. We lived our background. You know, everyone has a background, but we lived it, so we are forever connected. You get it? Connected, connector. We forever connected through some extraordinary moments in hip hop. And one thing I just wish hip hop would do is stop bickering and get back to the Zulu anniversary because that's what brought people from. I mean, it was people all over the world showing up. We got to get back to hip hop. You know, we complain a lot about the big companies. Yeah, they doing their thing, but we should get sponsors and get back to throwing 4 days events like it was meant to be. What you think?
So
Hmm.
I gotta
Okay.
interject with that. I agree with you again. No what's it called? No dispute with you on that.
Okay.
And I'm working with Cutman LG and Zulu King Wadi and one or two others. We're gonna put together an anniversary in November in memory of the Amun Ra and all the other
That's right.
pioneers and everything. It's not gonna be as big, but next year, trust me, we're gonna bring back the anniversary the way it used to be in the 90s, you know, with a bunch of people performing and DJing and doing a 2, 3 day event, maybe even a 4 day event. But, you know, we want to just not just do the MC aspect. We want to do the foundation, which is the DJs, but we also want to focus on the B-boys, the B-girls, the graph, and most importantly, the knowledge aspect of it.
Yeah,
You
that's the
know,
fifth
and so
element. Hmm.
yeah, exactly. Next year is going to be huge. This year is going to be nice. It's going to be in November. We'll have more information about that starting next month and everything like that. But we're working on that for the second week in November. That's when, you know, Zulu Nation is considered to be founded. But we're not going to call it that. We're just going to call it the anniversary of hip hop, you know. So,
Okay. Okay.
you know, so
All
I'll
right.
keep you posted about that, you know, and
For sure.
everything. So stay
We'll
tuned.
be right here. Okay.
Yeah.
So Big Jeff, I salute you. And remember, you the connector. So keep connecting people together, brother, because you got what's that, hip hop hitting chapters with Ben. Y'all keep
Yes.
doing your thing. Before you know it, catch on fire and it's huge. Just keep sharing and marketing, just like this. Just started this and it's all over already. People sharing it. I'm getting booked left and right. I'm like, oh Lord, what I got myself into. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, I just wanted to talk about social issues. But everybody know me from music too. I got a whole slew of people who know me from music and hip hop. And it'd be remiss if I didn't do hip hop. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It'd be
absolutely.
remiss because that I
Absolutely.
lived it. So all right, until next time, peace and love and happiness. Peace, love, and having
Having fun.
fun.
Thanks again,
All right.
Champagne. Peace.
Anytime. Thank you. Peace.